And just like all dirt bikes do, this is a really tiny screen. But my God, that screen is just so good.
It's really charming.
Yeah, it's a beautifully done screen. And the only thing it doesn't have actually is a fuel gauge. I missed
Yes.
it. What KTM also told us is that the fuel gauge on the Enduro is an on-off sensor. And that means it can only report there is fuel below this or above this. That's it. So it is set at reserve.
Okay.
But the reserve for a 9-liter tank, 9.5-liter tank is set at 2.7 liters. So this bike will give you plenty of warning that you're running low. And you can scroll down the menus with this really nice joystick and you will find an F trip that will count it down as to how many kilometers you've done. On my road, I got what seemed to be a full bike. Visually, obviously, there's no way to tell. And this full bike easily lasted, I'm going to say, 200-ish kilometers riding all kinds of really weird back roads. And I consistently saw 30-31 kilometers per liter, which is exactly my experience with the Adventure also. When I picked up the pace in the second half of my ride, that dropped overall to about 29. So I'm going to say the range of the economy that I saw was about 27 going fast and about 30-31 going peacefully. I think you saw roughly the same numbers.
Yeah, I ended up so from the time Shumi got the bike, one trip hasn't been changed. So that's showing near about 800 kilometers now, which is showing 26 point something. And the run this morning from Pune to Mumbai, and it was a quick run. It was at the highest was closer to about 28, but when the pace changed again, it settled down to 27, around that. That's the space.
So this should be a reasonable expectation of real world fuel economy for you. In the city, because you're going slower, changing a little bit more gears, this might drop another 2-3 kmpl, but I'm saying this is actually a surprisingly fuel efficient engine when you ride it right.
Yeah.
On the highway, both times when I've pieced out, not slowed down, pieced out, I've seen well over 30 constantly. 30, 30.2, 31, I've constantly seen these numbers. So I have no doubt that this bike, if you ride it in a specific calm but not slow way, you'll see very decent fuel economy, which on a 9-liter tank actually gives you pretty decent range. So if you want to know more about this, I'd ask anybody who has the previous generation Husqvarnas, which also had 9.5-liter tanks, to tell us what actually happened as you tried to live with the motorcycle. For reference, my Duke 390 from 2014 also has a 10-liter tank. On the highway, I get to 180 if I'm being super cautious, 220, and then I have to look for gas stations. And to me, this is the same experience that you'll have on the Enduro out on the highway. Is this impossible to live with? No, if you're willing to top up your tank every single time. But if you're riding it at I'll fill in 100 rupees and go, you'll constantly see the reserve light, and it's more psychological annoyance than real. Right? And the most amusing thing is, I went into the wilderness, there were no petrol pumps anywhere. At one place, I stopped to ask just for a lark, saying, can I get some petrol here? And the villagers laughed at me. And then I rode another 30 kilometers to the petrol pump and I topped it up. And then that bill is some 650, 700 rupees or something. I was like, hey, this is so cool, man.
Yeah.
So, not having a large fuel tank does have some benefits. And to me, if I were to want to travel on this motorcycle, would I suffer from the 9.5-liter tank? What I'd actually do is I'd go to Big Bad Bikes. They sell something called the Desert Fox fuel bladder. For about $2,500, if I'm not mistaken, you get the 3-liter bladder, and another 1,000 or something, you get the 6-liter bladder. The bladder weighs nothing when empty. Buy one of those. When you're going for a trip, strap one of those on the back, fill up both, and just top yourself up whenever you want to. It's close enough to an easy to live experience where your stop for that fill up doesn't have to be at a petrol pump. It could be at the most scenic place you can find on the road.
Yeah.
You've just watched a 3 to 5 minute clip on the MotorInc Clips channel, which means either you are an exceptionally talented millennial or Gen Z, or you're a much older person. In either case, would you like a challenge? Our main channel has videos that are at least 5 to 8 times longer, and they make 5 to 8 times more sense, I promise. Would you like to check it out? Come to the MotorInc channel.